How do you stop chasing after your guy for love and attention? Whether that's if you're dating, in your relationship, or anything in between, go from chasing to cherished. Do you tend to chase after love or attention in your relationship? Do you feel anxious when you sense him pulling away so you do all you can to close that gap? Do you work hard to get his love, attention, and affection? For example, do you wash his clothes without him asking you, or make all of his favorite meals, or plan the date nights, hoping that if you make his life easier, you'll bring him closer? When we're in this chasing energy, we don't realize that we're actually coming from fear. He feels this and this desperate, needy energy that we're not trying to do on purpose. When you're chasing after him versus you just knowing you're worthy and you embody the energy of a woman who knows her worth and radiates it from the inside out. Okay? And everyone feels it, especially men. And your high vibe will feel so damn good to be around that he'll feel inspired to take care of you and please only you. So let's talk about how do we never chase after another guy again. Welcome. This is where you'll learn how to become the truest, freest, most badass version of yourself so you can get the love and life that you deserve. I was here. I was in a toxic relationship for about 10 years. I chased, I accepted crumbs, I twisted myself into a pretzel, I stayed quiet. A lot of times I didn't stay quiet and I exploded. That's what happens when we suppress our feelings and the things that we actually need to say. It takes so much energy to suppress them, and there is a better way. I know what this feels like all too well. And I want you to know if you are saying yes when you want to say no, if you are chasing after your partner, your boyfriend, the men you're seeing, this looks like doing the texting, the calling, making the plans, initiating. It's this forward momentum. But men don't actually want this. And even though we're doing it from a well-meaning place, we will push him away. He feels less of a man. If you're the one doing that, you're stuck in this role, it will lead you to feel exhausted and burnt out. That's where I was in this whole process, is I was doing everything, being everything, always on, and I didn't know how to turn myself off and just relax and kick my feet up and just let my guy do things for me. The key here is not in the doing, the action, the initiating, the planning, right? All this is doing energy, okay? The key here is being. What is this being? I like the example of a rose. When you look at a rose, it's doing nothing. It's simply being, existing, and being what God designed it to be, okay? It's doing absolutely nothing. And I used to think of me, like I would go out and do errands and I would come back and I would be the last one out of my two kids, my guy and me. I'd be the last one to sit down because I couldn't stop doing. I was always in flight, basically, always running around doing things. I had my to-do list, and my whole life was really living out of obligation, not from doing the things that felt good. The being is just simply being you, okay? And I want you to know it's so normal when you sense someone pulling away to want to close that gap. So we get really anxious, and what's happening is we're afraid underneath. We're afraid to leave. So we start working harder and we start doing more because we are anxious and afraid, okay? But we may not actually know what's happening. So you may not actually be consciously aware of what you're doing. But just notice, when people in your life, your guy, pulls away, what do you instinctively do? Notice that. And women have been conditioned to hold on too tightly to our guy, which actually makes him want to run. Okay? This feels like pressure. This feels like suffocation, and he doesn't like that. If you ever go to the beach and you put sand in your hand and I want you to grab it as hard as you can, like I'm holding on to you, I'm not going to let you go, I'm not going to let you leave me, stay here, right? What happens to the sand? The sand falls out of your hand. So the tighter you hold on to your relationship, the quicker it's going to die. You're choking the life out of it. So when you can hold it and cradle it lovingly in your hand, the sand doesn't run out. It stays there, okay? When we think that we are actually showing up loving, but most of us are just surviving when we're chasing after him. We're coming from scarcity and lack. And please know this is not your fault. This is just centuries of programming to thank for that. Think about it. Like women, we've been taught that chase that guy, get him. Your time's running out. You don't have that much time left. You're 36. You don't have that many baby making years left. You need to get that guy, hold him down, get him to marry you. So it's all this kind of chasing and scarcity and lack energy. But what are men doing? Men are in their 40s or 50s, having hobbies, doing whatever they want. They're not concerned. Like, men don't have this programming that they need a woman to be happy. But us, okay, if we didn't have a guy, we couldn't survive like 100 years ago. We could not survive. So guess what? This programming still lives on inside of you in your DNA. This is about survival, not actually loving. And the great thing is we can catch it and not be at the mercy of our programming or conditioning. Okay? Chasing after him backfires. Men need space. We all need space. And anxiety can bring out the very worst in all of us. Learning how to manage your anxiety instead of acting upon it is vital in relationships. And I have a free guide below if you want to banish anxiety and go from conflict to calm. Check it out. Think of a rubber band, right, in a relationship. So a rubber band, it stretches and then relaxes, right? That's how healthy relationships work. But if you chase after him, he will only distance himself more. In healthy relationships, there's distance and closeness, okay? Just like a rubber band. So my number one tip is to shift your focus. Pay attention to your thoughts. Are they thinking of him 90% of the time? Then, hon, you are focusing on him. And he feels this. This feels like pressure to him. He has pressure all day, every day, outside in the world. Okay, men are constantly competing. In a man's world, it's all about competition. Okay, to constantly compete with other men, to be strong, to provide. Okay, he can never let his guard down and be himself unless he feels safe to do so. You can be a safe and soft place to land by purposely changing your focus off of him and onto yourself. Okay, this is how we go from chasing to getting the cherishing that we deserve. Okay, so we go from focusing on him and what he is or isn't doing to focusing on the one and only amazing you. Okay, once you turn your focus inward and practice self-love and self-care when you're starting to feel anxious and afraid. But as you start to soothe yourself, he's going to feel less and less pressured. Okay, then he will naturally want to come to you because he won't feel that pressure anymore. He won't feel that neediness, that desperate energy that you've accidentally been projecting out into the world due to your anxiety and your fear. Okay? And we do this by pouring love on ourselves, by taking yourself out, by hanging out with friends, taking a bubble bath, from focusing on you, and he will bounce back just like a rubber band if we're talking about a healthy relationship. Number 2, detachment equals power. As you're amping up your self-love and self-care, embrace your flaws and all. The more you can love yourself and accept yourself unconditionally, the safer he'll feel in your presence. Purposely start talking kindly to yourself like you would your best friend. And start doing nice things for yourself like you're already doing for others. And as you start to see yourself with love and kindness like you actually do your loved ones, pretty soon you're going to start feeling pretty damn good for no reason at all. This is when you can learn detachment. So you no longer need your guide to make you feel good or make you whole because you're learning how to do it through loving yourself, talking kindly to yourself, treating yourself well, doing great self-care. Then you no longer need his approval, acceptance, or validation in order to feel valuable because you've learned how to do this for yourself. And this is when you don't need anything from him in order to feel good or okay. This makes him feel safe, and suddenly you become the woman he wants to be with forever. And here's what it looks like, okay? You're aware of what you want, but you let go of the outcome completely, just like the sand in your hand, okay? Because deep down, you know and feel that you'll be okay no matter what actually happens. Even if you don't get the thing you want, you'll be okay. Detachment is irresistible to high-value men, okay? These are high-quality men we're talking about. And this means you're not like any other woman, okay? He doesn't feel controlled, stressed out, or pressured to make you feel happy 24/7. And he can finally just breathe and feel safe to be himself. That's what it's like when we're able to give him space. We don't need him to make us feel good, to make us feel happy, because we're doing that ourselves. And we're working on becoming more and more secure inside of ourselves, okay? This is not just an overnight thing, okay? That actually takes time. The third one, okay? Embodying your innate, priceless value. Ooh. This means you no longer try to make his life easier or do more for him to try to get that love, closest connection. Instead, you're focused on just being you. You leave all the doing for him, okay? And here's a secret that you don't know that took me years to learn, okay? You'd be shocked at how long it took me to learn that the more you let a guy do for you, the more effort he puts in is directly proportional to how he feels about you. The more he'll fall for you. He has to put the effort in. That have you noticed in your relationships, like the more you do for him, the less interested he is in you? I noticed that, like a stark difference. And then with those guys that I did basically absolutely nothing, and the more the work they put in, the more they wanted to be with me and spend time with me. But when we're in this chasing energy, we don't realize that we're actually coming from fear. He feels this, and this desperate, needy energy that we're not trying to actually do on purpose is actually hurting your relationship because it pushes him away. So he needs to give in order to fall for you. The more effort he gives, the more he'll want to be with you because he's investing. So this is so, so important to look for. So in your relationship, no matter what your relationship status is, I want you to notice who is doing 75% of the giving, the doing, the initiating, the planning, the making things happen, and who's just kind of sitting there chilling out and just being. Notice that. Men are wired to do for us, to take care of us, to provide. So if we're the ones in that role, you're going to feel exhausted and burnt out. You will. Now, this doesn't mean you do absolutely nothing for your man. This means that you're showing up consciously, choosing what to do for him, and also giving him the space. Yeah, I'm a woman, I'm independent, and I get open doors for myself, and I won't let a man buy me anything or do anything for me. Come on, seriously? Not letting someone hold a door open for you or buy you a coffee? Come on now. A man falls for you by giving, so let him give. Don't you deserve the queen treatment? Don't you deserve that? So let your pride go and let him take care of you. Let him provide for you. Okay? And we do this by not trying to be and do everything, like this whole superwoman attitude. So you're no longer trying to make his life easier. Okay? You're simply being. And you're done trying to push the relationship along. Okay? You're no longer willing to pick up the slack. And you're doing the inner work so you can show up, owning your inherent value down to your core. And he feels this. Your vibe completely changes when you're chasing after him versus you just knowing you're worthy. Okay. And literally, this is like radiating outside of you, and everyone feels it, especially men. This is when you no longer need him, but you want him. And this will completely change how he feels around you. And if you are loving this, then check out last week's episode where I talk about the 10 huge relationship mistakes that I made to save you heartache, heartbreak, and pain. Okay, which is inevitable if you're making those mistakes. And before that, I talk about the 10 traits that you absolutely freaking need in your relationship, with your forever guy, okay, to get the love that you deserve. Those are very powerful episodes. So when you want him, okay, this motivates him and inspires him to keep pleasing you so that he doesn't lose you. When you're needing him, this makes him feel pressured and he wants to run away. So just by simply showing up and being your glorious, radiant self, no longer willing to try to prove or earn your value. And you embody the energy of a woman who knows her worth and radiates it from the inside out. Okay? You're showing him and the world that you are priceless because you actually are. When you show up embodying this high value energy is showing him and the world that you are absolutely priceless. Your high vibe will feel so damn good to be around that he will feel wonderful just being in your presence, and he'll feel inspired to take care of you and please only you. He'll no longer feel pressured to make you happy or to be your entire world, which I talked about last week. He'll finally feel safe enough to let his walls come down, and you'll be able to connect with his heart on an emotional level, where your relationship will inevitably bloom and grow. This is how we get emotional intimacy, okay? Us ladies need this. It's such a beautiful dynamic. And without this, the relationship just feels empty. It doesn't matter how great the sex is, or how cute he is, or if he has an 8-pack, if you don't have that emotional intimacy. We all have emotional needs, and women crave that need to be met. And we do this by opening up emotionally. And a man isn't going to do it if he doesn't feel safe to do so. And lastly, you're not afraid to walk away from him. Not only can he feel how much you value or don't value yourself, he can also feel when you are the type of woman who isn't afraid to walk away from him. It's in the way you talk. It's in the way you show up. It's in the way you carry yourself. Okay? It's in your very energy. So if you don't need him to make you feel good, you don't need him to survive, but you want him and you're not afraid to walk away, that's the kind of girl he'll fall hard for. You're a triple threat. He knows he's got a real one. He knows he has to bring his A game to keep you. And when you can walk away from anyone, especially your guy, you have the power. You become a magnet to not only the love and cherishing you crave, but also to the universe. You're telling the universe, I know what I deserve, and I will not tolerate anything less. When he feels this, you become the 1 in a million girl. This makes him afraid to lose you. He knows he can't slack off or be lazy because he feels how valuable you are. He knows that you expect to be treated like a queen, and men who don't have the capacity don't even engage. Yay! Being able to walk away from him and anyone who doesn't make you feel good is essential to maintaining this high vibe so that you feel good from the inside out. When you feel good to be around, he can finally just be himself and let down his guard. Not only will he feel safe, but he'll also feel inspired. When he feels that you can walk away from him at any time, this makes him want to please you and do all he can to keep you happy. You become a high-value woman in his eyes, and this keeps him on his toes. You become a challenge, and men love a challenge. Pursuing and providing, ladies, is literally in a man's DNA. So when you become a challenge that he has to work hard to keep, this inspires him to keep giving and serving you. And he does this happily just to see you smile. Have you ever seen a guy light up when you smile? It's like that. You can go from chasing after men to being cherished by following these tips. And I know exactly what this feels like because I used to do the chasing, okay? And it's exhausting. I was burnt out. So if you struggle with love, this information will be so powerful and relatable. And there's something really special I'm working on. If you want to go from conflict to connection in your relationship, then check out the waitlist I'm going to have below. It's only going to be 10 slots. And basically what this is going to learn, how do you communicate? How do you regulate your emotions in your relationship? How do you stop living from reactivity? How do we also start helping our man feel respected and appreciated so we can actually get the love and relationship we want? If a man doesn't feel as respected and appreciated, he's not going to be very happy. And that's for you too. If you don't feel respected and appreciated, you're not going to feel happy. But here's the kicker, okay? Is that women are taught in movies and just in our culture, okay? We are taught expressing our feelings is really, we're emotionally lashing out at him a lot of times or controlling. What we think is actually sharing our feelings is really emotionally dumping on him. And it's actually taking our feelings out on him. So if we don't learn some really, really important keys to communication that will actually bring your man closer, and instead, if you do what you've seen your mom do, your grandma do, you're actually sabotaging your relationship by the way we've all learned to communicate. Not to mention, you see it in every movie, right? The women controlling the guy. Is the guy going to feel respected if he feels controlled? No. And you wouldn't either, right? So, how do we start respecting him? How do we start fixing our communication so that it brings him closer? How do we start to regulate our emotions so that we're not accidentally taking it him, all to create the closest and fulfilling relationship that you desire? That's what this is all going to be about. And so, this is going to be a group coaching program, and it's going to teach you these amazing things that I had to learn the hard way, and you won't have to. Only 10 people are going to be allowed in. Keep on the lookout for more information about this. This is in the works, and I'm so excited to talk about it today. And it's going to be at much of a cheaper price. It's the first time that I'm running it. You deserve an amazing, fulfilling, wonderful relationship. And unfortunately, the way we communicate now, how women typically communicate with men, is sabotaging our relationships. And we don't know all the things that we're doing that are getting in the way of the love, closeness, and connection. Okay. So I'm so excited to bring you guys this. Keep looking out for further details. And you can see my waitlist below if you want to sign up. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you. And I hope you have an amazing night. And I would love to hear your thoughts about how this has helped you. Bye. You can become the badass you've always wanted to be. Punch fear in the face and live life on your own terms. Till next time.